Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Rahanna and thank you for clicking on my video today. Today I'd like to speak about some court and crime cases. That is the theme on this channel, where I can at least talk about a case that's really impactful, that had some sort of proceedings in the court of law. And today is an important case as well. An especially important case because it talks about cyberbullying. It's really easy for someone to just be really rude behind their screen and say negative things. And these young people who are experiencing cyberbullying, they take it to heart. There are so many cases of people who have experienced cyberbullying and taken their life. The words are so impactful on these young people. A lot of foundations and a lot of companies as well, I know, are speaking out on cyberbullying, and schools have implemented a lot of good systems to, have people speak up. A lot of these things that have came and implemented in the school systems throughout the years would change how things are being dealt with when it comes to cyberbullying, especially in a lot of states and a lot of countries. They're implementing and being proactive. But before I start, just a disclaimer for today. Today's case covers suicidal thoughts, also self-harming, and suicide itself. The most important thing is thinking about the victim. And the victim in this case that I'd like to talk to you about today is Megan Taylor Meier. Megan Meier was born November 6, 1992 in O'Fallon, Missouri. She was born to parents Tina Meier and Ron Meier. She grew up and she was known to be such a fun-going, family-oriented girl. She really loved water activities such as swimming, and she also really enjoyed rap music, and she just overall really enjoyed spending time with the people who she loved the most, which were her family and her friends. Although for Megan, during her early years coming up, her life wasn't always the easiest. She suffered with attention deficit disorder, and she also suffered with having depression. A lot of this stemmed back to her struggle with her weight and the fact that she would be made fun of by her peers for how she looked. At that early age, she, in grade 3, even contemplated and told her parents how she was thinking of suicide. Although Tina and Ron, they were very proactive, ensuring that Megan got the best help and immediately put her into therapy, and slowly, after being prescribed to antidepressants, was uplifted and in a good headspace and a good mind space. Megan was doing great for herself. She, over the years, from grade 3 to grade 7, she lost 20 pounds, although 7th grade happened, and this whole time Megan was attending the same school. She attended Fort Zumwalt Public School, and in her 7th grade, the bullying was at the utmost highest. Megan throughout the year, she would befriend the popular girls and they would have her back. So when the boys would say rude things to her, she would have her friends nearby, always on her side. Although in grade 7, these popular girls turned against her and started bullying her as well. And they would say rude things to Megan. So as proactive as her parents were, they immediately got her enlisted in a new school for the new year. And when she was in grade 8, she moved to the Immaculate Conception in Dartmouth Prairie, where she joined the school's volleyball team. At that same time, while she made her transition from the old school to the new school, she ended up breaking off a friendship that she had with one of these girls down the street from where she lived. This girl was named Sarah Drew. Sarah Drew and Megan Meier had this off and on again friendship, and Megan knew her worth, it seemed like, and she had to step away from this friendship because she knew that it would just, you know, bring her down. One thing though about Sarah Drew was she had created a idealistic pretty girl on MySpace to be able to speak to boys and pretended to be somebody else. Megan's mom, Tina, learned about this and revoked Megan from having access to MySpace because, you know, obviously it's wrong to be somebody who you're not. She saw how Sarah was dragging her into this type of negative behavior. Instead of like embracing who you are, they're hiding who they are so they can just, you know, speak to boys. And that obviously is not like the right way of going about things. So Tina took her off of MySpace, but she begged and she begged and she begged her mother, begged her to have back access to MySpace. And Tina, she agreed solely on the fact that Megan, she was about to be 14 years old, she was about to enjoy her birthday soon, and also under the conditions that only Tina and Ron, Megan's parents, would have access to the MySpace account, meaning they would be the only ones that would have the password to the account, whereas Megan would not. And when Megan would be online, either Ron or Tina would be monitoring Megan's interactions. So only 3 weeks, really soon after Megan opened up a MySpace account, she got a friend request from a boy named Josh. Although Megan didn't know who this was, she was ecstatic to tell her mom that Josh Evans had friend requested her and he was so hot, in her words. Tina was very wary about her adding somebody who she doesn't know online, but at the same time, Megan begged and, you know, Megan got her way and she was able to accept his friend request. So at this point, Megan had her old school friends on MySpace and her new school friends on MySpace from her old school and her new school, and she really enjoyed, you know, seeing them. She had this thing called like a bulletin board, and I like to think of it like how you have your own, you know, your Facebook page, you have your own page and someone could post technically on your page. She had like one of those and she really enjoyed the interactions and the funny things that people would say back and forth to each other. So when Josh messaged Megan, she actually got to know him really well, really fast. Josh had said to her that he had moved to O'Fallon really recently from Florida. He was homeschooled for most of his life and he enjoyed playing the drum. He was from like a broken family and that his mother had to raise him and 4 others his whole life. Even speaking about it, you want to feel bad for that type of person. So they got closer very, very quickly. Although they got close, when Megan had inquired about a phone number for Josh, he was never able to provide one because he said that he didn't have one, nor did he have a landline, and the only phone that had was like his mother's, and it was a cell phone, but like he didn't have like access to it. That's what they would do. They would talk to each other pretty much every time Megan was online, and she really enjoyed getting to know Josh. She also had all those friends on there who made her feel good and stuff, but it was nice for, you know, Megan to get some one-on-one attention. So fast forward a bit, on Sunday, October 15, 2006, Megan received a message from Josh Evans saying that, "I don't know if I want to be friends with you anymore because I've heard that you are not very nice to your friends." And Megan replied, "What are you talking about?" But at that time, Megan never got a reply, had to log off, and she was just very curious about what that meant. She wondered why Josh had sent that, but the next day she intended on handing out invitations to her 14th birthday party, and she was extremely happy about it too because, you know, she was gonna be 14 and being a teenager, all your birthdays are excited. And she really looked forward to that day. So she went along her day on October 16, 2006, handing out her birthday invitations. And when school was done, she arrived home and she begged her mom to allow her to go onto MySpace. She wanted to figure out what Josh had said. Tina logged Megan into her MySpace, and Tina had to leave because Megan's sister had an orthodontist appointment and Tina had to bring her to it. Tina told Megan to sign off, and Megan said that she would. She just needs to finish up something. And Tina left with her other daughter to the orthodontist appointment. About 15 minutes after arriving at her orthodontist appointment, Tina realized that, you know, she never logged Megan off, right? So she wanted to confirm with Megan that she had indeed signed off. So when Tina called Megan, Megan was really in a distress mode. She was saying that people are saying rude things about her and people are ganging up on her. They were being really rude to her. They're posting it on the bulletin board, so her page, and her old school friends and her new school friends are all seeing it. They were posting surveys about her saying that like Megan is a slut and Megan is fat. Tina insisted Megan sign off of the MySpace. Like, it's not helpful to see what's going on. Just sign off. It's fine. Like, we'll deal with it when we get home. Tina had to hang up while she was at the appointment, and Tina called her back, and Megan was still sobbing hysterically about all the surveys posted about her. So once Tina got home, she was very shocked to see that Megan was still online, was still speaking to these people, and now speaking to them in vulgar language. She was extremely, you know, disappointed at the fact that her daughter would engage with, you know, these people who are not like-minded at all with her. Tina had to take Megan off of the computer and physically sign off herself because Megan wouldn't get off. The thing that Megan said to her mother as soon as she took her from her computer was that, "You're supposed to be my mom. You're supposed to be on my side," and ran away from the computer, which was located downstairs, up to her bedroom located upstairs, running and crying, and actually ran into her father on the way up. And her father, Ron, had asked her, "What's going on? You know, like, what happened?" And Tina said that these people online are saying horrible stuff about her, which were not true. And she didn't understand why. And Ron told her that it's okay because they obviously don't know you. Like, it will be fine. They don't know you. So if they're saying those things, it's not true. And in that moment, Megan continued her journey back to her bedroom, and Ron went to the kitchen, and Tina was there, and they were preparing for dinner for that night. About 20 minutes had passed, and Tina had this like gut feeling that something happened. And when she went to check on Megan, she discovered that Megan had committed suicide. Paramedics was called and she was transported to the hospital, but officially on October 17th, 2006, Megan Meier was officially pronounced deceased, just 3 weeks before her 14th birthday. No parent at all should ever go through something like that, and I can only imagine. Like, I read how the Meyers had a scheduled appointment for Megan to take off her braces just a couple of days after she took her life, so she could have a beautiful smile for her beautiful 14th birthday, but the Meyers would never get to celebrate that. Later on that day of October 17th, Ron decided to log into the MySpace and saw what was the last remaining messages between Megan and Josh Evans, which was from AOL Messenger, and it read, "Everybody in O'Fallon knows how you are. You are a bad person and everybody hates you. I hope you have a shitty rest of your life. The world would be a better place without you." And Megan responded that you are the kind of boy a girl would kill herself over. This was really hard for Tina and Ron to go through all of this, especially the fact that all her friends were turning 14 around the same time, and you know, they tried to see what could come of this. I mean, they went to a grief counselor, they went to meetings that help you cope with like the death of your child. They tried to even message Josh Evans to let him know that, you know, your words were really impactful and this is what happened. But they realized that his account was no longer there. It was deleted, actually. On that same day, the 17th of October 2006, the Meiers went over to Sarah Drew's house to let them know that, you know, Megan really did appreciate her friendship. And they ended up later attending her birthday party when she turned 14, but they couldn't stay when they were singing happy birthday because they knew that it would have been Megan's birthday, you know? Things could have been a lot different. They also went and attended Sarah Drew's father's birthday party too, his 50th. His name was Kurt. And once again, it was just really hard for them to hear happy birthday being sung and their daughter not being alive to even celebrate hers. And there was so much leading up to it. 6 weeks after Megan's death, a neighbor of the Meiers family had requested for the Meiers to come to the counselor office of the school. There was a counselor, there was her grief counselor, there was also the counselors from Megan's first school also there, and then there was the neighbors, of course, and the neighbor's daughter. At this meeting, they announced to the Meiers that Josh Evans doesn't exist. He was never real. He was made up, and he was made up by two adults. And those two adults was Lori Drew, Sarah Drew's mother, and also employee of Lori Drew. Ashley Grills was the employee that helped create the MySpace account, and Lori Drew requested her to help because she wanted to know if Megan was saying bad things about her daughter. She had heard that she was, so she wanted to investigate it for herself and went about creating a fake profile to figure out that information. Several other people also ran the account because they shared the password, and it was all just a hoax to try to get something incriminating, something bad on Megan. The neighbor came forward after speaking to her daughter. Her daughter had informed them that, you know, she was a part of this account in a way because she had the access to the account, and she believed that it was okay and it was all fine to do because it was the adults who ran this account. She believed that it was okay because she had stayed with those adults before, slept over at, you know, Sarah Drew's house before. She thought that it was all fine. This unnamed daughter had sent one of the messages on the night that Megan had taken her life. She also disclosed that Lori Drew told her to be quiet about the account right after it was announced that Megan had lost her life. So the Meiers did an investigation, and the FBI even analyzed the computer, but were not able to collect some of the messages that were sent most recently before Megan had taken her life. At this time, the Meiers was holding a foosball table for the Drews. They did this thing where, like, the kids would search all over the house and would find the Christmas present way earlier than Christmas was, right? So they asked the other parents to, you know, hold on to the foosball table for them so that their children wouldn't find it. And the Meiers were pissed off, right? So they took that foosball table and they hit the shit out of it. They destroyed it. And they drove it over to the Drew's house and wrote Merry Christmas on it. And apparently through them dropping it off and doing the spray paint, it ended up having damage, or at least property damage, that the Drews brought to the police. Like, if you know you're in the wrong, you know you're in the wrong for sending and bullying a young girl when you're a grown adult, but you have a problem with somebody putting your stuff on grass, on your land, I think there are bigger issues at play. Because the Meiers, they have a right to be upset. Megan, before, she had gone on vacation with Drew's family, and they knew that she had dealt with depression. They knew that she was on antidepressants. They knew that she had, you know, talked about suicide before. And they know better. They know better than that to bully a young girl going through so many things in her young, small years of life. Tina at the time figured that Lori Drew wanted Megan to feel like, have a boy like her, and then let everybody know that it was false and fake on the MySpace, and everybody laugh at her. And she even said like that she didn't feel like they intended to make her kill herself, but that's how it ended. So with evidence trying to be taken off of the computer, the Meiers didn't try to do any type of charges. Since it was brought to the police's attention through that report, you know, they did some investigating in it, and the Meiers instead, they went the higher route. At least that's what I believe. And they went to the news leader, Steve Pokin, and had written an article about what happened to all of these events, and it's a really good article read. At the time, he decided, Steve Pokin, the author, decided not to release Lori Drew's name because of the fear that the public would absolutely give hatred to Lori Drew and Sarah Drew, and that Sarah Drew may even take her own life because of all the hatred that she would be receiving. And that was like a really hard thing for him to say no to, but in reality it was all disclosed later on. The reason why I'm so public about it, it's very public information, you can look it up, and I think that it's important that these people's names, and it's important that they're told as the people who really hurt Megan, because she didn't deserve any of what happened, but she was in a certain state of mind that pushed her over her edge. And this article that Steve Pokin had written had gone viral, had gone in multiple languages, was translated, and also was top news. The fact that adults had created a fake profile just to make fun of a girl, like just to get some information on their daughter, like that, literally it went viral. The local prosecutor reviewed the case and decided on December 2007 that there would be no charges brought upon the Drew family. Federal government, when they heard about this, they decided to pursue a case in Los Angeles. Los Angeles being at the time the headquarters for MySpace. Since Lori Drew was prosecuted in Los Angeles, where the MySpace headquarters are, he charged Drew on defrauding MySpace. And Drew's lawyer tried and failed to add in the fact that Megan had killed herself. but they weren't successfully able to remove that from the lawsuit. Lori Drew decided not to take the stand, and the jury convicted her of 3 misdemeanors for lying about who she was when she created Josh Evans' account. Although a judge decided to overturn the conviction of the Drews, and the Drews ended up moving to a new state. In the end, Sarah Drew did not harm herself in any way, and Lori Drew was outed and shunned. It's really important to think about the victim at the end of the day, and it's more important to know that there was a foundation created by Tina Meier called the Megan Meier Foundation, and it was founded by Tina Meier back in 2007. The foundation really pushes towards educating and preventing to stop bullying and suicide. They hold throughout the year like events that happen every time, and then on the day that Megan had lost her life, the 17th of October 2006, they celebrate Megan's passing and encourages everyone to honor Megan by performing an act of kindness and to use the hashtag change starts with me. And I think it's a beautiful foundation. I think it really brings people together, really, you know, educates them about the fact that words and bullying in cyberspace, it's really not the end all be all. Like you can prevent these things from escalating to where they are. And it's also important to educate the young people amongst you that, like, if you're having a problem, if you're going through bullying, the answer isn't always to, you know, to have your parents resolve the problem or for you to resolve the problem yourself. I think it's more important to allow the child to speak about what they're feeling, speak about what they truly want to do. If they want the bullying to stop, there are certain actions that you have to show that you are not deserving of this bullying. And if these young people can gather together and prevent these sort of things from happening, astounding things can happen for life. I'll link the Megan Meier's Foundation down below in my description, and I really encourage you to donate if you have anything, or at least just check out the foundation. And this Megan Meier's Day, October 17th, is coming up close to when I'll be uploading this video, so I really encourage, if you have the opportunity, if anything, you would hashtag change starts with me. So yeah, that's the end of my story for today. Tragic life of Megan was lost. It was really hard to talk about at times because, like, children and death is not always the easiest thing, but I think it's more important that this lady was, yes, not charged in the court of law for her actions that she had done to Megan Meier, because there's nothing to really charge her for. There's not a charge for that. Although at that time, because ever since then, there has been so many states that have implemented laws that were around cyberbullying. About 32 states as of 2015 had implemented laws for cyberbullying. And I think that's really important for, you know, not only us to talk about cyberbullying and talk about the fact that it shouldn't happen. I think it's important to know that there are consequences to yourself if you are bullying somebody, not only to the other people like it was before or like it is in this case scenario. And it's really important that they continue to thrive, like foundations like this, and students in general continue to be for each other, because it's really hard in this world if you're all against each other. It won't make life easy at all, I'll tell you that. So if you made it this far to the end of the video, thank you for watching, and I really appreciate you coming in. Remember to drop a like and a thumbs up if you really enjoyed this video, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be attempting to I say attempting because, like, honestly, I took a long hiatus. I had some vacation. But from now, I'll be trying my best to upload a video every single week so that there'll always be something coming up. And if I can't do every single week, I'll do every bi-weekly. But I'm very, very much interested in court and crime cases, so you can come and join me every single Tuesday for sure for a new crime and court case. So thank you for watching again. Stay well, stay safe, and have a great day. Bye.